All right, let's put on our detective hats, shall we? Because today we're going to tackle one of those super common, and let's be honest, super frustrating mysteries that pop up in the world of virtual infrastructure. Okay, so let's just dive right in. You know the scenario, I'm sure you do. Every single IT pro has been here. It's Monday morning, you grab your coffee, you open up the console, and wait a minute. That feature you use all the time, the one that was working perfectly on Friday, it's just gone. It's grayed out, you can't click it, it's totally unavailable, just poof. So you're sitting there, racking your brain. What on earth changed? The only thing you can think of is you added a new server to the cluster. I mean, that's it. And the weirdest part? The whole system seems totally healthy. There are no screaming red alarms, no critical warnings going off. Everything looks green. And yet, this one key feature has just vanished into thin air. So yeah, this is our case for today. We're calling this one the Monday morning mystery. It's that classic head-scratcher, you know? The kind of problem that pops up with zero obvious cause, leaving you to hunt for clues in a system that's telling you, hey, everything's fine. Okay, so before we start dusting for prints, every good detective needs to get to know the cast of characters, right? So in our world, that means we've got to understand the key players, the main components of your VMware environment. First up, we've got vCenter Server. You really have to think of this as the brain of the whole operation. I mean, it is the single source of truth for your entire inventory. It's what orchestrates all the tasks, tells everything else what to do, it defines what your clusters are supposed to look like. So if some action fails, yeah, vCenter's almost always your first stop. Then, of course, you've got the ESX host. If vCenter is the brain, the host is the muscle. It's the executioner. This is the component that's actually running your virtual machines. So yeah, the brain tells it what to do, but the host is where the rubber meets the road, where the real work gets done. Now, if you're a vSAN user, this is your storage subsystem, and it is a huge piece of the puzzle. But the thing you've got to remember is that its health is a total team effort. So if you see a weird storage symptom, a lot of the time, the root cause is actually hiding somewhere in the host, or maybe even the network. Next on our list is VCF operations. You might know it as ARIA operations. Think of this as your early warning system, like a smoke detector for your environment. It's constantly out there collecting all this raw data, all these metrics, and turning them into useful health and capacity signals. It's what helps you spot trouble before it spirals into a massive outage. And last but not least, we've got VCF operations for logs. This is literally the detective's notebook. It captures every single event, every log message, and it turns those really vague symptoms into a searchable timeline of hard evidence. It's what gives you the proof, the smoking gun to figure out exactly what went wrong, and just as important, when it went wrong. Okay, so we know our players. But here's the thing. Just understanding these components is only half the story. The real key, the core clue to solving our whole mystery, lies in one absolutely crucial distinction. And this is it. This is the central idea for our entire investigation today. You have to understand there's a huge difference between the system, what your environment is physically built to do, and the rules, what your environment is allowed to do. It's a difference between what it can do and what it may do. So think about what that means. The mystery you're trying to solve might not be a technical failure at all. Your whole system, all those powerful components we just talked about, could be working perfectly fine. The real issue could just be a mismatch between what the system is capable of and what its permissions, its rules, say it can do. And this kind of conflict, yeah, it's often triggered by something really simple, just like adding a new host. Okay, so with that key distinction in mind, system versus rules, let's open up our detective toolkit. It's time to narrow down the suspects. When you're staring down a mystery like our missing feature, the trick isn't to check every single thing under the sun. That's a waste of time. You just need to know who the usual suspects are and how to interrogate them. It's all about working smarter, not harder. And this table right here, this is your cheat sheet. It's your detective's guide. It's all about listening to the language of the symptom. So if you're seeing words like permission denied or not authorized, your number one suspect is going to be permissions or RBAC. The first question you ask is this just affecting one user or everybody? Now, if you see things like not licensed or capacity exceeded, boom, your prime suspect is licensing. And your first question is, what changed recently? And finally, if you're getting errors like cannot reach, timeout, or anything with certificate, you've probably got a connectivity or trust issue. See, you just match the keywords to the cause, and it tells you exactly what question to ask to crack the case wide open. All right, let's do this. Let's take this framework and apply it directly to our Monday morning mystery. We've got our tools, we've got our suspects. Let's find the culprit. Okay, so check out how quickly this works. By following these steps, we go from this vague, super frustrating problem to a real testable hypothesis in, like, minutes. So, step 1, identify the symptom. A feature is grayed out or unavailable. Step 2, check the keywords. We look at our trusty table, and unavailable points us straight at licensing. Step 3, ask the first question. For licensing, that's what changed? Well, we know it changed. We added a new server. And that brings us to step 4, our hypothesis. Adding that new host probably pushed our capacity over what our license allows. The final step? Simple. We just have to go verify it. And bingo. There it is. Case closed. The culprit wasn't some mysterious bug. It wasn't a hardware failure. It was the rules. The entire system was working perfectly. vCenter, the hosts, all of it. The problem was that the license assignment hadn't kept up with the changes we made. The system was just doing its job, just enforcing the rules it was given. So here's the big takeaway from all this. When you really learn to tell the difference between the system and its rules, between what it can do and what it's allowed to do, you're not just fixing one problem. You're becoming a much smarter, way more efficient detective. And that really brings us to the heart of the matter. The best troubleshooting isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing what to question first.